Hello friends, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the series that we have started exclusively for the upcoming UPSC EPFO 2025 examination, wherein we'll be doing 15 MCQs a day, and as part of which in this session we'll be doing labor laws, the Mines Act 1952 part 2, part 1 we have already done. Now coming to why this series or why these topics are important. See, when we look at the number of questions that are asked, the pattern or questions का देखेंगे that are asked in the UPSC EPFO exam, be it APFC or EO examination both. See, in this out of 120 questions, close to 15 plus questions are asked from these topics only. So you can see the number of questions, very good number, and the component also has a high weightage and has good scoring potential as well, because आप basics भी cover करेंगे अच्छे तरीके से, you will be able to answer 10 plus questions बहुत easily कर सकते हो आप. And I suggest, if you really want to score good marks, especially in APFC or EO or AO examination, follow these sessions regularly, क्योंकि हम लोग इस sessions में all the acts जितने भी है labor laws के and IR के, we are doing that in a very detailed manner in the form of MCQs. इससे क्या है, आपका एक revision भी हो जाएगा and good number of practice questions you will be having. Moreover, we are expecting the notification, UPSC EPFO 2025 notification very soon. So I suggest you to follow these videos religiously. So with this, let me start with today's session. So moving on to our next question. With reference to section 20 of the Act regarding conservancy provisions in mine, urinals, latrines and all that, consider the following statements. Which of the following statements is or are correct? देखते हैं. Every mine must provide separate latrines and urinals for males and females, ensuring they are accessible at all times. Yes, this is very much true. The maintenance of latrines and urinals in a clean and sanitary condition is the responsibility of the mine management. Obviously, उनका responsibility है उनका maintenance का. Yes, this is also true. The central government has authority to determine the number of latrines and urinals based on the workforce composition. Obviously, ये भी central government prescribe कर सकती है. Okay, yes, that mandates that latrines and urinals must be constructed within 50 meters of the working area. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. So this is false. So here only 1, 2, 3 are correct. So option A is the correct answer. Moving on to our next question related to the medical appliances under section 21. So under section 21 of the Mines Act, in a mine where more than 150 persons are employed, what is the minimum requirement regarding medical facilities that must be provided and maintained? See, when it comes to this section, every mine, they shall provide and maintain the readily accessible first aid boxes or cupboards, compulsory है. And एक इंचार्ज भी होना चाहिए who is responsible for such treatment and all that, and that particular person should be trained in first aid treatment and they should be readily accessible during the working hours of the mine. Definitely, क्योंकि कुछ भी होता है तो immediately first aid मिलना ज़रूरी है. And ये सब तो है ही, but if जिस माइन में 150 माइनर्स पर्सन से ज़्यादा काम कर रहे हैं, एम्प्लॉयड है, तो इन सच केस एक फर्स्ट एड रूम होना ज़रूरी है विथ प्रिस्क्राइब्ड इक्विपमेंट एंड मेडिकल स्टाफ, सब कुछ होना चाहिए. लेस देन दैट, फर्स्ट एड बॉक्सेस, फर्स्ट एड कबर्ड्स, रेस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन विथ ट्रेंड रेस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन टू ऑपरेट एंड ऑल दैट शुड बी देयर. ग्रेटर देन 150 फर्स्ट एड रूम ही होना चाहिए विथ प्रिस्क्राइब्ड इक्विपमेंट एंड स्टाफ. सो हियर बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. So moving on to our next question. With reference to section 23 of the Mines Act regarding the notice to be given of accidents in the mines, consider the following statements. Which the following statements given below are correct? First, the owner, agent or manager of the mine must report accidents such as explosions, inrush of water or influx of gas and breakage of the ropes and chains immediately. Yes, this is true. A notice of an accident resulting in the loss of life must be posted on a special notice board for at least 14 days for trade union officials to inspect. Okay, yes, this is also true. उनको ये करना चाहिए. An inquiry into an accident causing loss of life must be conducted within 2 months of receiving the notice. ये भी true है, because within that timelines they have to do the जो भी inspection that needs to be done so that further accidents can be avoided. The accident site must be disturbed must not be disturbed before inspection by the chief inspector or inspector, except in cases where rescue operations, removal of the bodies or prevention of further accidents are necessary. Until and unless these are required, they should not disturb, क्योंकि फिर सही से उनको information नहीं मिलता है. Any accident causing enforced absence from work for more than 24 hours must be recorded in register, and a copy of the entries must be submitted annually to the chief inspector. Yes, this is also very much true. कुछ भी accident होता है जहाँ पे वो injury की वजह से work को report नहीं कर पाते, no, even after 24 hours. In that case, definitely that should be entered into register, and उस तरह के incidents को every year annually लॉस ऑफ लाइफ नहीं है बट इंजरी है, सो इन दैट केस एनुअली चीफ इंस्पेक्टर को वो रिपोर्ट्स देना पड़ता है. सो येस, व्हेन इट कम्स टू सेक्शन 23, ऑल दीज आर द rules and regulations that needs to be followed, and here C is the correct answer because all these are true. 1 2 3 4 5 all are true. So moving on to our next question. A miner is deprived of his weekly day of rest due to operational requirements. कुछ काम था इसलिए. Now what is the maximum time frame within which the miner must be granted compensatory days of rest? Now this comes under section 29, okay, and section 28 कहता है कि weekly day of rest जरूरी है. 6 days उसने काम किया तो एक डे, इट इज इन वीक 1 डे तो लीव हॉलीडे होना चाहिए. ओके, ये सेक्शन 28 बोलता है. नाउ सेक्शन 29 क्या बोलता है? इन केस अगर उसको लंबा काम करना पड़ा, कभी कभी होता है कि माइन में चले जाते हैं तो दे माइट नीड टू वर्क थोड़ा एक्सटेंडेड टाइम पे. इन सच केसेस विदिन द मंथ इन विच द डेज ऑफ रेस्ट वर ड्यू और विदिन द नेक्स्ट 2 months उसको कंपेंसेटरी लीव या रेस्ट देना चाहिए. सो दिस कम्स अंडर सेक्शन 29 एंड सेक्शन 28 में वीकली डे ऑफ रेस्ट. Okay, so here in this case C is the correct answer. So moving on to our next question with reference to section 30 of the Mines Act, wherein they look into hours of work above ground. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the working hours of adults employed above ground in a mine? First, an adult worker cannot be required to work for more than 48 hours in a week or more than 9 hours in a day except with the prior approval of the chief inspector for exceeding daily hours to facilitate shift changes. ये true है, उससे ज़्यादा वो काम नहीं कर सकते. The total spread over of work hours including rest intervals must not exceed 12 hours in a day and at a stretch 5 hours से ज़्यादा भी वो काम नहीं कर सकती. And chief inspector का permission है, then that can be extended to 14 hours but not more than that. So this is also true. Workers from different shifts are allowed to perform the same kind of work simultaneously above ground provided they take the rest intervals at different times. No, this can't be done. They are not allowed to perform the same kind of work simultaneously above ground. So this is false. So here in this case only 1 and 2 are correct. So A is the correct answer when it comes to section 30 of the Mines Act. So moving on to our next question. According to section 31 of the Mines Act, which looks into the hours of work below ground. अभी तक हमने section 30 में above ground देखा था, ये below ground है. Now which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the hours of work below ground in a mine? No adult employed below ground in a mine shall be allowed to work for more than 48 hours in any week or for more than 8 hours in any day. This is very much true क्योंकि ये थोड़ा cumbersome work है. The daily maximum hours of work can be exceeded without any prior approval to facilitate change in shifts. So here they have to take prior approval अगर कुछ change है तो definitely. So this is false. Work below ground in any mine must be carried out by a system of shifts arranged such that the period of work for each shift does not exceed the daily maximum hours. Obviously उसी तरह से उनको करना पड़ेगा, otherwise वो maximum hours तो exceed कर देंगे जो है 8 hours in a day. So definitely this is true. No person employed in a mine shall be allowed to be present in any part of the mine below ground except during the periods of work shown in the register maintained. अगर उनको माइन में जाना है तो डेफिनेटली दे हैव टू गेट दैट एंटर्ड इनटू द रजिस्टर्ड एंड अगेन उस शिफ्ट में उनका नाम है या नहीं, अगर नहीं है तो ही इज नॉट ऑथराइज टू एंटर इनटू द माइन एट एनी कॉस्ट, ठीक है। सो हियर एक्सेप्ट ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड्स ऑफ वर्क शोन इन द रजिस्टर दैट इज मेंटेन, अगर उनका है तो ही, अदरवाइज दे कांट एंटर। यस, दिस इज वेरी मच ट्रू, द सेफ्टी। सो हियर 2 ही गलत है, बाकी 3 करेक्ट है। सो 1 3 4 ओनली इज द करेक्ट आंसर हियर, that is B is the correct answer. Moving on to our next question, section 33 of the Mines Act for extra wages for overtime. So under section 33 of the Mines Act regarding the extra wages for overtime, which of the following statements is or are correct? A worker employed above ground in mine is entitled to overtime wages if they work more than 9 hours in a day or 48 hours in a week. Yes, this is true, हमने देखा है 9 hours above, below ground 8 hours, right? A worker employed below ground in a mine entitled to overtime wages if they work more than 8 hours in a day and 48 hours in a week. Yes, this is also true. Overtime wages shall be paid at the rate of twice the ordinary rate of wages. Yes, this is also true. For workers in a piece rate basis, their time rate is calculated based on their daily average earnings from the previous week, excluding the overtime. Yes, this is also true. कई बार ऐसा होता है ना कि full time नहीं, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा काम है, ऐसे प्राइस रेट बेसिस पे काम लेते हैं. इन सच केसेस, यस, प्रीवियस the time rate is calculated based on the daily wages that earnings based on the previous week excluding the overtime. ओवरटाइम एक्सक्लूड करके जो भी वो अर्न करते हैं उसी के बेसिस पे जो एवरेज उन्होंने कमाया है वही उनका टाइम रेट बेसिस मतलब पर आवर या जो भी है वो कैलकुलेट करके उनको दे देते हैं. यस, दिस इज ऑल्सो ट्रू. सो इन दिस केस ऑल ऑफ दिस आर ट्रू. 1 2 3 4, hence D is the correct answer. So moving on to our next question. With reference to the provisions related to the working hours in mines under section 34 and 35, consider the following statements and you have to tell me which statement is correct. Now when we talk about section 34, it is a prohibition of employment of certain persons. ओके जो ऑलरेडी दूसरे जगह पे काम कर रहे हैं या फिर ऑलरेडी प्रीसीडिंग 12 आवर्स से वो काम कर रहे हैं माइन में, तो दे आर नॉट अलाउड टू बी एम्प्लॉयड फर्दर. सो दैट इज काम नहीं करवा सकते. So here a person who has already worked in one mine cannot be required or allowed to work in another mine within the preceding 12 hours. वो नहीं कर सकते, at least 12 hours होने के बाद ही they can go. So this is very much true. This pertains to section 34. Now section 35 बोलता है limitations of the daily hours of work. So here the maximum permissible working hours for a person employed in a mine including overtime shall not exceed 10 hours in a day. Okay, so overtime करके मैं 4 घंटे 5 घंटे करूँगा, that's not possible. So here this says that उतना ही वो कर सकते, 10 hours से ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकते, and this is the true statement when it comes to section 35. So yes, here both 1 and 2 statements are true. So C is the correct answer. So moving on to our next question. According to section 36 of the Mines Act, which of the following statements is or are correct regarding notices about hours of work in a mine? Okay, ये manager का responsibility होता है that they have to do. Let's look at the statement. The manager of every mine must post a notice stating the time of commencement and end of work as well as the time for each relay if a relay system is used when it comes to working in the mine, and definitely this is true. The notice must be posted at least 7 days before the commencement of work. Yes, this is also very much true. The notice must include the time of commencement and intervals for rest for persons employed above ground. Yes, this is also true. Obviously, वो होना चाहिए. If any alteration is proposed in the time fixed for work or rest intervals and amended notice, क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी जो जब माइन बनता है उनका जो रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है दैट ऑल वुड बी बेस्ड ऑन दैट डिटेल्स, राइट. सो वो डिटेल्स अगर चेंज हो रहा है तो डेफिनेटली दैट मस्ट बी पोस्टेड and sent to the chief inspector at least 3 days before the change. No, this is करना चाहिए but not 3 days before the change, at least 7 days का वो होना चाहिए. So here only 1 2 3 are the correct option, that is points here as per the section 36. So here A is the correct answer. Moving on to our next question. As per section 40 of the Mines Act, which of the following statements is correct regarding the employment of persons below 18 years of age in mine? Okay, so no person below 18 years of age is allowed to work in any time. That is very much true. ये हमने पहले भी देखा था सेक्शन 2 में जब डेफिनेशंस आए थे उसमें देखा था हमने डेफिनेटली. एंड बट एक ऑप्शन एक कैचे है हियर एंड दैट इज अप्रेंटिसेस एंड ट्रेनीज above 16 years but below 18 years, they can work under supervision, but with prior approval from the chief inspector or an inspector who can allow to do so same. So necessary approvals के साथ कर सकते हैं. So here both A and C are the correct answer. That is D is the correct option here. Moving on to our next question. Women empowerment. With reference to section 46 regarding the employment of women in mines, consider the following statements and you have to tell me which statement is correct. So first देखते हैं, women are prohibited from working in any part of the mine that is below ground. ये है, this is true. Women can be employed in above ground mining operations but only between 6 am and 7 pm subject to certain conditions. Yes, this is also very much true. वो नाइट शिफ्ट में काम नहीं कर सकते. Every woman employed in a mine above ground must be given a rest interval of at least 11 hours between the consecutive work shifts. तो obviously डे टाइम किया तो नाइट पूरा हॉल्ट फिर मॉर्निंग. So yes, this is also true. The central government may modify working hours for women in the above ground mining operations, but employment between 10 pm and 5 am remains prohibited at any cost. Yes, this is also very much true. यही है as per the section 46 where employment of women जो है above ground ही कर सकते हैं. So here B is the correct answer because C is the correct answer because all of these statements are true. 1, 2, 3, 4 सारे ही true है. So C is the correct answer. So moving on to our next question with reference to section 52 of the Act regarding the annual leave with wages, consider the following statements. क्योंकि उनको rejuvenate करना है तो obviously एक annual leave देना पड़ेगा with full wages. So उसमें conditions क्या क्या है? Now which of the following given statements are correct? A person employed below the ground is entitled to 1 day of leave every 15 days of work, while other persons, employees are entitled to 1 day of leave for every 20 days of work. Yes, this is very much true. Okay, annual leave उतना वो ले सकते हैं other than the weekly leave. To complete a calendar year's service, a below ground employee must have at least 190 attendances, while others must have at least 240 attendances in year. उतना होगा तो they'll be eligible for this 1 day of leave every 15 days of work. So yes, this is also true. Maternity leave up to 12 weeks and agreed layoffs count towards attendance but do not earn additional leave, obviously. So this is also true. Leave can be carried forward but at no time can accumulate the leave exceed 30 days except when leave was applied for but not granted, in which case there is no limit. So this is also very much true. अगर 30 days से ज़्यादा वो accumulate करके आगे नहीं लेके जा सकते but उन्होंने leave के लिए apply किया but वो approve नहीं हुआ, in that case वो सारे ही leaves use कर सकते हैं. There is no restriction to that limit. Employees must apply for the leave at least 15 days in advance and leave cannot be taken for more than 3 times in a year except in case of illness. This is also true. ये true है. So here in this case all of these statements are true. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C is the correct answer when it comes to section 52 of the Mines Act where it deals with the annual leave with wages. Moving on to our next question. A miner has been granted 5 days of leave. What is the employer's obligation regarding the payment of wages before the leave begins? See, when it comes to section 54 of the payment in advances in certain cases, any person who is employed in mine who has been allowed leave for not less than 4 days shall be before his leave begins be paid the wages due that is जो भी due है for the period of the leave that has been allowed. वो लीव पे भी होंगे तो उससे पहले ही उनका पेमेंट वेजेस कर देना चाहिए. सो हियर इन दिस केस पे वेजेस ड्यू फॉर द पीरियड ऑफ लीव दैट हैज बीन अलाउड इन दिस केस. सो हियर अगेन दिस इज फॉर नॉट लेस देन 4 days. 4 days से कम है तो वो अगली बार वो कर सकते हैं जो भी टाइमलाइन है, बट 4 days से ज़्यादा है तो डेफिनेटली अगर वो उस वेज पीरियड में पड़ता है तो दे हैव टू बी पेड. So here B is the correct answer. This is as per the section 54 payment in advance in certain cases. Moving on to our next question. A mine owner has taken proceedings against a miner for an offence under the act. कुछ किया है, कुछ माइनर ने कुछ गलत किया है तो He has to take the act. So what is the mine owner's obligation regarding reporting the result of the court judgment? जो भी court judgment है आया है, that the person, the mine owner has to report to the chief inspector within 21 days. 21 days के अंदर जो भी judgment आया है या order आया है, that has to be submitted, sent to the report has to be sent to the chief inspector. So this is as per the section 71, where owner etc. has to report to the chief inspector in certain cases. This is one of such cases. So here A is the correct answer. Moving on to our next question. A dispute arises regarding whether a particular excavation in a mine within the meaning of the act. Okay, कौन करेगा? So who has authority to decide this question and what is the status of their decision? Okay, so when it comes to a particular excavation in a mine, so definitely it is the central government that would decide on such question, and जो certificate है, a certificate signed by the secretary to the central government shall be conclusive on the point, और कोई question नहीं उठेंगे. So here in this case C is the correct answer. So here this is for the decision of question whether a mine is under the act or not, that solely lies with the central government only. This is as per the section 82 of the Mines Act. So friends, अभी तक हमने MCQs किया है जो आपके प्रिपरेशन को और भी आगे लेके जा सकता है. नाउ आपके प्रिपरेशन को और भी अच्छे से करने के लिए EduTap has launched 3 main courses exclusively for those who are targeting the upcoming UPSC EPFO APFC and EO or AO examination. ठीक है, वो 3 कोर्सेज क्या क्या है? सबसे पहले आता है आपका मास्टर कोर्स, जिसमें आपको पूरा कंटेंट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वीडियोस, PDFs, MCQs, टेस्ट, चैप्टर टेस्ट, एवरीथिंग आपको इसमें मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, ये उनके लिए है जो भी अपना प्रिपरेशन अभी बिल्कुल स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं एंड दे आर लुकिंग आउट फॉर ना एक 1 पॉइंट कॉन्टैक्ट की तरह, जहाँ से उनको सब कुछ मिल जाएगा, कंटेंट भी, स्ट्रैटेजी भी, एक्सेट्रा. एंड हियर एवरी वीक कुलदीप सर आपको एक स्ट्रैटेजी देंगे कि इतना कंटेंट है तो उसको किस तरह से आप यूज़ कर सकते हो अपने प्रिपरेशन में, एंड ऑल दैट अलॉन्ग विद इट जो भी आपके डाउट्स है वो रिजॉल्व करेंगे. एवरी थर्सडे क्लास रहता है. नेक्स्ट आता है टेस्ट सीरीज प्लस. इसमें ये उन बच्चों के लिए है जो ऑलरेडी थोड़ी बहुत प्रिपरेशन कर लिए हैं या फिर कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स में इनको आइडिया है बिल्कुल और कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स में नहीं है. तो एक ही अगर उनको सब्जेक्ट चूज करने, लाइक एक्सक्लूसिवली पॉलिटी के लिए उनको बिल्कुल कंटेंट चाहिए या फिर सिर्फ लेबर लॉस एंड IR के लिए चाहिए, इन दैट केस ये उनके लिए बहुत सही रहेगा, क्योंकि इसमें एक पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट का कंटेंट अलॉन्ग विद दैट फिर प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस टेस्ट सीरीज मिल जाएगा, तो आपका बिल्कुल फुल प्रूफ वो हो जाएगा. थर्ड आता है आपका कोर्स टेस्ट सीरीज. टेस्ट सीरीज में क्या है, आप ये ऐसे बच्चों के लिए है जो ऑलरेडी एक बार या फिर एक बार एग्जाम देके फिर दे रहे हैं, या फिर उनका बिल्कुल अपने एंड से प्रिपरेशन है लेकिन प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस नहीं है, उन जैसे बच्चों के लिए ये बिल्कुल बेस्ट है, जहाँ पे आपको गुड नंबर ऑफ MCQs वुड बी प्रोवाइड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ टेस्ट. तो आपको एक रियल एग्जाम का फील भी मिलेगा, एक अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस भी हो जाएगा. So if you have any doubt, कोई query है, you can always reach out to any of the personnel from the EduTap जो available है, and you can get your doubts clarified. Accordingly, you can make an informed decision. So hope you have all liked the session. So thank you very much for being with me so patiently till end, and we'll meet soon in another session very soon. Thank you very much once again.